Hello again, everyone. Hello, and welcome to today's topic, which is courtship and marriage. And today is Tuesday, September 15th, 2020. And right now we are actually exactly in the mid of September. And so, welcome. I hope so far you've been having a good day. And And I'm gonna say this to begin with. I know what I am sharing is not the most how would you say, not approved. Actually, it is approved by God for sure. Um, it is not the most political correctness that people would like to hear because I don't do political correctness anyways. And so you will hear the truth from whatever it is. And if you don't like it, that's okay. But I'm happy that you are able to hear. And of course, if you don't agree, it's okay. We don't have to agree on everything. But I know for sure at the end of the day, when one person, if there are two people arguing among each other or between them, one will be right, one will be wrong. So it's okay if you don't agree with what I'm saying. Um, but at the same time, you need to know that what I'm saying is the unpopular thing for today, which makes it even more interesting because I'm not here to flatter you with nice words and make you all lovey-dovey. If it is truth and I'm gonna say it. If it is not, then I'm not gonna say it. It's just how it's gonna be like. So today we are in that final part three, in the topic of um, courtship and marriage. And tomorrow we will start a different chapter, and I'm not sure exactly which one I'm gonna pick, but when tomorrow comes, um, we'll get there. So let us begin today. We're gonna start with where we left off. Actually, we're gonna start with this chapter, the next paragraph from where we left off, and it begins. There's a question: when will our youth be wise? How long will this kind of work go on? Shall children consult only their own desires and inclinations, irrespective of the advice and judgment of their parents? Some seem never to bestow a thought upon their parents' wishes or preferences, nor to regard their matured judgment. Selfishness has closed the door of their heart to filial affection. The minds of the young need to be aroused in regard to this matter. The fifth commandment is the only commandment to which is annexed a promise, but the only but it is held lightly, and it is even positively ignored by the lover's claim. Slighting a mother's love, dishonoring a father's care, are sins that stand registered among against many youth. And interestingly, my dad told me one time, I was asking him a question about why he chose to be with my mom. And I remember he said that. He said to me, by the time I was talking to your mom, her dad was already dead, and only the mom was there. And he said that if the mom had said no for him to talk to her, then he would not talk to her at all. Like basically, she would be non-existent in his life. And he said if both parents were here and they said no, then he would also walk away. And I think he said if one of the parent alone had said no, then he would not talk to my mom, which is interesting because today's age, many of the young ones, if the parents say no, then it's like a challenge. I need to prove myself that I am fit for this person. And sometimes we don't really know what we're getting into until we get trapped into that we shouldn't be. But because we are, we want to be the hero in everything, and so we go for it. And so that actually is a. Let me just adjust the video. Okay, that is an issue that we have to deal with today because many of the young ones, um, they they don't think with their brains or with their prefrontal cortex. They think with the limbic system, which is all emotion. And when you are in that state of, oh, I'm in love, then you cannot see anything in your true light, if even presented before you. And here, I was talking to some friend of mine, and they were telling me that there is a person that the parents do not want that person to be with certain people. And I'm like, I'm okay with that. That person should actually listen. Uh, I'm gonna say her parents because I said person. So not because it's a girl, but it's because I said the word person, which is the feminine gender. If you guys don't know that, then it's okay. You don't have to know everything. That's a grammar. That's the grammatically proper way of replacing a noun with a pronoun. So because I said person, I'm gonna say her or she because person is a gender is feminine, whether it's a man or woman. So that person, I told them that that person should listen to her parents, you know, and so that's the way it's supposed to be. Whether it was a whether it was a boy or a girl, that person has to listen to their parents if they have any preferences for them. So that's the case sometimes, and but sometimes you have to just go with what is the best option, and in that case, it's okay. So do not forsake parents' judgment because they may know certain things that you don't understand yet. So that's part of it as well. And I know right now that is very much against many of the youth today. They will definitely hate, will not hate, they will be very unhappy with the truth that I'm saying right now because that's what it is. They don't want to get their feelings hurt, but it's okay. One of the greatest errors connected with this subject is that the young and inexperienced must not have their affections disturbed, that there must be no interference in their love experience. That's the issue. If there ever was a subject that needed to be viewed from every standpoint, it is this: the aid of the experience of others and a calm, careful weighing of the matter on both sides is positively essential. It is a subject that is treated altogether too lightly by the great majority of the people. Take God and your God fearing parents into your counsel, young friends. Pray over the matter. Weigh every sentiment and watch every development of character in the one with whom you think to link your life destiny. The step you are about to take is one of the most important in your life and should not be taken hastily. While you may love, do not love blindly. And this is the issue. and we have all of those stupid, um, inappropriate, unloving TV shows about love is blind. Let me tell you something. Love is not blind. If you love blindly, you're not loving. That's called infatuation. And young people are bombarded with all of these movies coming out where it's all about lovey-dovey. Oh, I really love him. Oh, I really love her. And now I want to spend my whole life. You meet somebody today, and then 7 months later, you're already proposing to a person, and young people are just buying into that nonsense. But hey, parents, this is for you to teach your young people. I'm not making the videos for young people. I'm making this video for people that are contemplating marriages or that are dating, because I think there should be an age where people should be dating. And I'm not talking about like high school dating, because that's just craziness. Yes, I call it craziness. Or I should say foolishness, because it's a very small percentage, probably less than probably less than 0.00005% of any country, in any country, we find high school sweetheart living the life all the way to the die. Very small. So this is not to the I'm not gonna make that video to be skewed on one side. I'm gonna make it a normal distribution. If you speak statistics, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the 68% part, not the 95 or 97%, not the no, the majority, the majority. That's for them. I'm not focused on exceptions, but the majority, because the majority of people that have a meaningful relationship, it's either in college, meaning when they start college, so we think about age 19, 20 maybe. Even that is actually young. More likely 22, 23, when they start to think better, all the way to their 30s or maybe mid 30s. Let's say that. And of course, for the parents that have young ones that are growing, that needs to know how to show them what love is. This is why I'm making those videos. And here again, what is it about? The most important subject that should be considered on every standpoint is this one, and that's the one subject that people take lightly. No wonder why we have so many divorces or divorce cases in the country. No wonder, because they go into marriage. One, they go in blindly, because they weren't really loving each other. They were loving what was going on, the touching, the kissing, the sex. Most of them that did that, yes. Well, I'm not gonna not say what it is. That's what it is. And because all of that blinded them, they really enjoy the passion or so-called passion when there's no what you call reasonable decision, and they get into marriage, and of course you get 2 3 years, maybe the first year is very fun, second year is good, third year things starts to get downhill, and by the fifth year divorce already is settling, or divorce already settled. Am I making this up? No. Go find out for yourself. And so, while we may have people that are so against what I'm saying right now, the truth is, if you look around, you will see what I'm saying is exactly what's going on right now. But of course, they're gonna dislike what I'm bringing forth. because these people they like chaos, not order. And so, if you have children, and of course this is for the Christian, so the worldlings that doesn't bother me, but the Christian, you should listen to this. If you have children that are grown that start to be dating, you should maybe sit down with them, parents, and talk with them and give them advice and counsels. Maybe you might help them save their marriage in the future. Who knows? So don't forget that. Don't forget that. Examine carefully to see if your married life would be happy or inharmonious or wretched. Wretched. Let the question be raised: will this union help me heavenward? Remember, this is for the Christian, and the Christian is to be more like Jesus Christ. So, would that union help you become more like Jesus in character? That's the question. Will it increase my love for God? Another question. And will it enlarge my sphere of usefulness in this life? If these reflections present no drawback, then in the fear of God move forward. But even if an engagement has been entered into without a full understanding of the character of the one with whom you intend to unite, do not think that the engagement makes it a positive necessity for you to take upon yourself the marriage vow and link yourself for life to one whom you cannot love and respect. Be very careful how you enter into conditional agreements, but better, far better, break the engagement before marriage than separate afterward, as many do. And sometimes I think somebody said at one time, it's better to be dead than to be in a divorce, especially if you're paying child support and alimony and all this nonsense going on. Why? Because if the person is dead, then there's nothing to worry about. But if that person is alive, you know you're gonna have to see that person every single time, and every time you see that person, guess what? That your memory stick in your brain just plugs back into the past. Oh, I remember that person who stole my money from divorcing and alimony and child support and all these things, and you start hating that person. Why? Because when they were telling you, hey, that person is not for you, because this and this and this and this and this, you were too blind to see the reality. And instead of breaking off the engagement, you went on for marriage. And I already said, you know what? It's sad. And now it's divorced. That's what happens. That's what happens. Now, could it happen to me? Yes, it could happen to me. And sometimes it's not because something you did wrong. Sometimes the person already has her motive, or either it's a male or woman. They may already have the motive. They may say, you know what, I'm gonna give the best of myself in the dating season and all the courtship season, all the engagement season, because I really want to marry that woman, or I really want to marry that man because they can help me financially. And once I'm married, after a certain amount of years, I'll just divorce that person and take all their assets. It is true now. That happens. It's not any. I'm not saying anything that is untrue. If you don't believe me, you can go and do your own research on that part. It's there. And so you have to know exactly who you are getting into a relationship with. That's just the reality. But for the Christian, first question would be, how is that person going to help you get better like Jesus Christ, to become more like him in character? If the answer is I don't know, then the answer to the marriage is no. Because if you don't know, then when are you going to know? After marriage? Possibly not. Possibly not. And definitely not before 2 years. Anyways, let's move on. True love. So when somebody tells you, oh yeah, I'm falling in love for you, tell that person this. True love is a plant that needs culture. So the plant needs water, needs soil, good soil, needs sun to grow. True love does not come blindly, it grows. Let the woman who desires a peaceful, happy union, who would escape future misery and sorrow, inquire before she yields her affection. Has my love, has my lover a mother? Hmm. What is the stamp of her character? Does he recognize his obligations to her? Is mindful of her wishes and happiness? If he does not respect and honor his mother, will he respect and love? Will he manifest respect and love, kindness and attention toward his wife? When the novelty of marriage is over, will he love me still? Will he be patient with my misery, my mistakes, or will he be critical, overbearing, and dictatorial? Dictatorial. True affection will overlook many mistakes. Love will not discern them. And that also goes the other way. The man, okay, the man. Man, this is for you now. Let the man, I'm going to edit that for the man as well. Let the man who desires a peaceful, happy union, who would escape future misery and sorrow, inquires before he yields his love. Okay? Has my lover a father? What is the stamp of his character? Does she recognize her obligation to him? Uh, is she mindful of his wishes and happiness? If she does not respect, and of course that happens a lot. If a girl does not respect the man she's in a relationship with, then she probably doesn't respect her father either. And so everything I just read for the women can also be for the men. Vice versa. They both need to ask themselves that question, all those questions. I was talking to a girl one day, and it was about what, um, 9 o'clock, and we were on the phone, and she said, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go now." I said, "Oh, okay. I hope I'll talk to you later." And I said, "Yeah, I have to go because it's past 9 o'clock." And I said, "What is that supposed to mean? Past 9 o'clock?" I said, "Well, I live at my parents' place, and I like to respect the my dad's rule. Past 9 o'clock, not to be on the phone. And I was like, and I said to her, "Wow, you're hot, you're hot," because it's rare for me to find a woman who does this thing nowadays. Yeah, that's a friend of mine. And to me, I had the same policy. Like after 8:30, my phone, if you text me, you're not gonna find me. That's it. And so, does that person respect and love their parents? That's a question to ask. The youth trust altogether too much to impulse, and this is true. They should not give themselves away too easily, nor be captivated too readily by the winning exterior of the lover, because everything's about how pretty you are, how well dressed you are. They don't spend time to find out what the person's character is. As long as you're a handsome man or you're a very pretty girl, who, girl, I am in love with you already. Mm, mm, mm. Man, this man is hot. I just want to be with him because I want to touch his abs. This is, and I am not making this as a joke. That's what is happening right now. Courtship, as carried on in this age, is a scheme of deception and hypocrisy with which the enemy of souls has far more to do than the Lord. Good common sense is needed here, if anywhere, but the fact is, it has little to do in the matter. There is no common sense because people are not using their prefrontal cortex anymore. If children would be more familiar with their parents, if they would confide in them, if they would confide in them and unburden to them their joys and sorrows, they would save themselves many a future heartache. When perplexed to know what course is right, let them lay the matter just as they view it before their parents, and ask for advice and ask advice of them. And parents, and this is a very big red flag. I'm gonna come back to that. Who also well calculated to point out their dangers as godly parents, who can understand their peculiar temperament as well as they. Children who love and children who are Christians will esteem above every earthly blessing the love and approbation of their God-fearing parents. The parents can sympathize with the children and pray for and with them that God will shield and guide them. Above everything else, they will point them to their never-failing friend and counselor, Jesus Christ, who will be touched with the feelings of their infirmities. He who was tempted in all points, like as we are, yet without sin, knows how to succor those who are tempted and who come to him in faith. Now, back to that part. When perplexed to know what course is right, let them lay the matter just as they view it before their parents and ask advice of them. And parents, let me tell you right now, when they bring those kind of questions before you, it is not the time to look down and say, "Whoa, aren't you too young for this thing?" Yes, I just said that, parents. And so, when they ask for advice, parents have to understand that children will ask advice if they feel comfortable with you. If they're not, then trust me, you will never know what what is really going on in their lives until it's been 2 years already and they've been dating, and then they say, "Oh, yes, I have a boyfriend now, or I have a girlfriend now." Yet we never knew that they were even talking to anybody. And the sad thing is, many parents, when that happens, they're just happy that their children now are dating because as soon as they get off to college and they have their dating partner, as soon as they graduate college, hey, get married and leave the house. I've seen in this country that children are some sort of burden to parents. Second time, until that time, bye for now.